In this episode, episode 8 of The Daily Hustle, we talk about the credit card super move, talk about DJs that use credit cards poorly, and another example of a Teddy Roosevelt is a badass.
Broadcasting from the box that rocks and Thrive15.com world headquarters, it's The Daily Hustle with Daniel McKenna.
What's going on, guys? This is Daniel McKenna. Over there is Marshall Morris. This is episode 8 of The Daily Hustle. Welcome back into the box that rocks. This is the show where we answer your questions both on Thrive15.com and on Twitter and on Instagram. And Marshall, I'm excited to get to the basically part 2 of what we talked about yesterday.
It's kind of like a follow-up.
Part 2 of the truth about credit cards and your personal finance, which could be a big deal for you. And we're gonna get into a move.
Yeah, a couple moves.
Couple moves here.
Now, is that a new shirt?
I'm pretty sure I've worn this exact shirt on the show before. So,
okay.
So no.
Just checking.
I appreciate that.
So I'm excited to recap all this, the truth about credit card debt.
In case you did not see the previous episode, or in case you want a mini refresher before we get into the move, because it's important stuff here, that make sure you know what we're talking about before we get into the move. Let's go ahead and give them the quick recap. The quick recap. First of all, give them what some financial experts say about credit cards.
Okay, Dave Ramsey. Okay, he talks about the truth about credit card debt, and so he says responsible use of a credit card does not exist. Credit card debt is a major problem in America. There is no positive side to credit card use. You will spend more if you use credit cards.
Remember, this is in response to Devin's question about building credit.
That's right.
And what are the specifics behind it?
Building business credit.
So up top, Dave Ramsey plus T. Hart of Ecker, who suggests using a debit card instead of a credit card. They're saying don't even use it.
Yeah.
Because it's not good for you. You're going to spend more.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we get into the Forbes. We get into the Forbes.com. We give 2 reasons why you might want to use a credit card. Mm-hmm. Give me those. What are the 2 things?
2 reasons from Forbes.com is the first is convenient access to revolving credit. With a credit card in your wallet, you can easily cover cash flow gaps and pay off short-term business expenses, all without applying for a loan. Okay, this flexibility can be especially huge. Can be an especially huge plus for businesses with more sporadic revenue. Okay, the second is the opportunity to build up your business credit. Okay, which lenders use to evaluate whether your business is eligible for a loan down the line. By separating out your personal and business finances, you make sure your personal credit won't affect your business's score or vice versa. So
again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you want to build a business at some point, most likely you're going to need more money than you currently have.
Yeah. So in business, you look a lot at return on investment.
Yep.
But in order to get a return on your investment, you have to have an investment, okay? And so the credit card might allow you to invest money or spend money that you don't currently have in order to achieve a greater return in the future.
And that's what that's all about. That's why you'd consider doing this for your business. Again, your business credit history and your personal credit history are different things unless you don't have business credit history.
That's right.
If you don't have business credit history, they're going to say, okay, how about you personally? What do you got?
Yeah.
Okay. And so those 7 things that affect your credit, we're just hitting all the recaps before we get into the move here. 7 things that affect your credit. 1, do you pay your bills on time? 2, what percentage of your credit are you using? 3, how many credit lines do you have? 4, how long have you had your credit lines open? 5, number of negative marks. 6, total hard credit inquiries. And 7, how much debt do you currently have? Again, if you don't have all these narrowed down like specifically, come back, watch the previous episode, and then jump forward to here.
That's right.
Because that's kind of like prerequisite. This is like, okay, we're about to jump into the move here. Marshall, why don't you give us your last recap, your last thought on this, last thought on all this before we jump into the move. Give me maybe some story time.
Okay. Of
the move.
Some story time.
Don't jump into the move yet, but maybe some examples of why you would need the move.
Okay.
Some examples of why you need the move.
I'm going to set it up, and we're going to talk about my friend Bill.
Is that his real name?
No. I'm changing his name because this is not a good scenario.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
So Bill, real person. Bill goes and spends a ton of money on his personal credit card.
Okay. Go on.
So he's paying for business expenses on his personal credit card. Okay. First of all, that's not good. Okay.
Yeah.
Spending business expenses on a personal credit card
makes it harder to write it off for taxes.
Yeah. Accounting on down the line.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first issue. So what's he do? He opens up a business credit card.
Okay.
Okay. He starts running up a bunch of money and buying equipment, okay, that doesn't immediately produce sales, okay? Buying solutions, buying ways to fulfill the leads, but not actually generating any new revenue for him.
So he's buying all the video production camera equipment before he has any way to sell his services.
For buying a computer, buying a...
he's got a brand new editing station that's like top of the line, sick stuff, and is not yet thought through, how am I going to actually get people to pay me for this?
That's right.
Okay.
So no new revenue in, just more credit being used. Okay. Then he's like, holy crap, I'm out of money again. I need to buy groceries for my family this month. So I need to go open up another credit card.
That's good. I mean, yeah, you get more credit cards.
Okay. So he goes and gets another personal credit card.
Yep.
In order to bridge that gap for his personal expenses.
Yep.
Okay. So now homie has 3 credit cards open without having the balance completely paid down. He's able to pay some of it, but not all of it. Okay. So now he has outstanding balances in 3 different areas. Okay. And he's overextended. He now is in debt, in credit card debt, and he's approaching that level where the advanced rate, the interest rate, is going to. You just ring the bell.
That means that we sold something. There we go.
So anyways, so now he's at that point where the credit card interest rates are going to kick in, and he's going to have to start paying an interest on the remaining balance on the credit cards.
Okay.
And so he's like, holy crap, I need to fix this.
Yeah.
So that's Bill's situation.
Is this real story?
Real story, fake name.
Real story, fake name.
Yeah. Bill's just my favorite name.
Well, and what we talked about yesterday, the average household debt, if you have credit card debt, the average is like $16,000.
Yeah.
So this Bill, whoever this person really is, but we'll use the surname Bill, whoever you are, you're actually pretty normal, unfortunately. Like that's what people do. They spend more than they currently have. They spend more than they can like pay off. Maybe it's because it's Christmas time and you want to get your family nice gifts. I get it. Maybe you just don't have that revenue coming in yet. You're starting your business. I get it. But this is pretty normal, meaning you're racking up like $1,500 of interest charges.
That's right.
Like per year, you're paying like additional. Okay, so we're answering this question specifically today, and you don't have this on your sheet, so I'll go ahead and ask the question here. This is from Amelia. This is the question we're answering today with the credit card move, the credit card super move. She says, which credit cards are best to move balances to? I still have a decent credit score of 708 to 706, but recently had to use my credit cards. I've used a little over a 30% limit on my 3 cards, totaling about $3,500. What should I do? So Amelia has about $3,500 riding on those credit cards. She's got 3 different credit cards, and she's asking about transferring balances. So now let's get into the super move.
There you go.
Let's get into the super move here. Now, again, we gave you all the prerequisite stuff, the preset stuff, so that you don't think like this is like a free money move. It's not a free money move, but it is a move that if you like either A, you want to pay off some debt,
yeah,
or B, you need money right now, you can do this move.
Mm-hmm.
You can do this move to get some money in for your business. Now, does this move still take on debt? Yes, you still have the debt. You still have to pay for it. It's not free money, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to give you the prerequisite, but here's the credit card super move. Number 1, go ahead and hit me with number 1 here on the credit card super move.
Okay, super move number 1. Okay, first thing that you got to do is you got to request a credit limit increase when you're paying your next bill.
This is not something that normal people will tell you. They will not teach you this probably in school. But did you know, like with your credit cards or like your cable bill, or like when's the last time you were like going to switch phone companies, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, hey, if you stick around, we're going to give you a free phone and $10 off your monthly bill. You never have.
I never.
You have the same phone since you were a wee lad.
I'm still, kind of a wee lad. I don't think I've ever been called a wee lad before.
Well, I'm glad I can be the first. If you call up your satellite provider right now, or call up your cable provider right now, and say, hey, I like what you guys do. Don't really want to pay that much. I'm probably going to switch. Most likely, if you stick in there, they're going to give you a discount.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep you as a customer, and it's a lot cheaper for them to keep you as a customer than it is for them to go market and find another customer to replace the money that you're bringing in.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. Same thing with these credit cards and credit limits. If you never ask, they'll never do it, most likely, until you have a long history of proving you can pay it off. But if you call up your credit card company today and you say, hey, I would like an increase on my credit limit. Will they do some sort of application? Maybe. Will they do some sort of background check? Maybe. But most likely, unless you are just completely fraudulent and never pay them at all, most likely they'll go ahead and give you an increase because they want to keep you as a customer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why does this matter? As we talked about in the 7 things that affect your credit, the more room you have on your credit that you're not actually using, the better it is for your credit score. Which means the easier it is to get a new credit card with a better APR, a better interest rate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So number 1, if you're in this credit card situation, call up your company today, ask for an increase in your credit limit. Number 2, what is that?
Okay, number 2. Okay, this is the second step. You got to go to creditcards.com, okay, and find some 0% APR for 12 to 21 month credit cards.
So we're suggesting that if you already have credit card debt, or maybe you need, to like raise some money real quick, but you already have a balance, we're saying go get more credit cards?
Step 2 is just you got to do the research and figure out which ones are the appropriate cards that you need to be on.
Okay, so as with business, you might have like a leading offer to get somebody in the door.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's your first haircut's $1.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? They don't make money on that $1.
No.
But they hope to keep you around as a customer.
That's right.
And that's how they make money.
That's right.
Same thing with credit cards. They'll offer you, there's several credit cards, depending on your credit score, that'll offer you 0% APR, which means they will not charge you interest rate even if you owe them thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You still do have to make the minimum payment, which typically is going to be like $25, $50, $75, as opposed to, depending on how much money you owe, as opposed to $5,000 bill coming up this month, and if you don't pay it, we're charging you interest. They'll give you that 12-month, maybe 15-month, maybe 21-month leeway to get you in the door to use their credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you have a balance, let's say you have a 21% APR card right now, you've got $4,000 on your card that you're carrying over month to month, go to creditcards.com, find a 0% APR card, and then step 3.
Step 3 is you got to determine all of those cards, and you just flat out put them on a spreadsheet. This is the card, this is the company, this is the company's phone number.
And why does it matter to have more than one option? Why don't I look, oh, that Chase Freedom card, that looks pretty solid. I'll just do that.
Because if you only have one option, then you're pegged into only one option. You got to have the rule of 3.
Also, we'll get to the rule of 3. I know you said rule of 3 and you kind of perked up just a little bit.
I was so passionate about the rule of 3.
I just noticed we never played any music for Amelia's question because I asked the question this time.
Yeah, that's
so it was a little bit out of the workflow. Can you give me some music for this step 3 here? Give me some music for step 3. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so you're going to determine the cards you want and put them on a spreadsheet. Why? Well, especially if you don't have great credit, you might not get the credit card you want. And how long does it take to find out? I haven't applied for a credit card in a long time, but hours, days. Actually, that's not true. The last time I applied for a business credit card, this was the process. I applied and waited for weeks.
Really?
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I waited for weeks, and then it showed up on my doorstep. It's like, oh, I guess I got approved.
I actually had a awesome application experience.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Is it important enough to talk about?
I mean, I just called them.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just called them and it got approved right there over the phone.
Well, did you mention how tall you were? Is that why?
Yeah.
Was it an intimidation tactic?
These are the accounts that I have open. This is how much money I have open. And they're like, okay, how tall are you? And I said 6'7". And they go, cool, you're approved.
That's how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
But you probably already had a good history.
Yeah.
You probably already had money with the bank.
Yeah.
You probably already had some of the prerequisites that they look for.
Yeah.
So it's easy for you.
Yeah.
let's say you maybe don't have money with a certain bank, or maybe you don't have a great credit history, or maybe you already have credit card debt, which is why you'd be doing this move in the first place, and then they're less likely to be like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why you're putting all these cards on a spreadsheet. You're determining that's 0%, that's 0%, that's 0%. There's one more reason to put these all on a spreadsheet, and that's number 4. Hit me with number 4.
Okay, so number 4 is you have to apply for them all back to 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 back over the phone.
It's like a telethon.
To back.
Now, why is this? Well, one of the 7 things we talked about. Let's see, what was it? Number 6. Number 6. Total hard credit inquiries matter for you and your credit score. Meaning when you apply for a credit card, it's going to ding you. Ding! And it's going to take a couple points off your credit score.
Mm-hmm.
So if you apply for one card and they go ding, and then you don't get the card, your score just lowered.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, well, crap, I didn't get that card.
Next month.
I got to apply for another card. All right, what was this card? And they're like, nope, ding, and you're down again. Now, if you go back to back, they don't have enough time to see all the dings. Like the dings don't happen for another 24, 72 hours somewhere in that time period.
And furthermore, it shows that you're just proactively looking for the appropriate card, and you're not seeming desperate month after month applying for card after card.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to extend your credit. It's just like, okay, I need all of the options. Okay? Which option is going to be the best fit? What can I get approved for? Bang.
Can I give you a terrible example?
Yeah.
If you decided that you were going to rob a string of banks, and they were all on the same street, and you decided, okay, I'm going to hit this bank, and then like a week or so later, I'm going to hit the next bank, and then maybe like a month or so later, I'm going to hit the next bank, they'll probably start looking for you.
Are you trying to reference the town?
I'm not, because we missed it in a different episode.
You've been trying to work in this example for a long time.
I'm not.
I keep reading the show notes.
I know.
And we keep skipping over it.
We keep skipping it, and it's not going to make it into this one either because it doesn't make sense here. But that's not what I was referencing.
Okay.
Instead, again, this is a terrible example, but instead you're like, nope, if I hit them all at the same time or within minutes of each other, there's a lot more likelihood that I get away with some money from this. Now, as far as terrible example goes, that's a terrible example, but it makes sense analogy-wise. You want to give them credit cards back to back to back to back before all these companies notice that you're asking for credit cards because you're more likely to get a credit card and it's not going to hurt your score. Now, will it hurt your score later? Yes. Of course it will, but so will applying for other credit cards. That's why we said this is a credit card super move only to be used in situations where you have to have it. Also, what happens if I get like 3 credit cards? Cool. Actually, the more credit you have available to you and that you don't use, the better for you, the better for your credit score. Okay? So let's say I had 4 cards on there and I call them all back to back and I get 3 of them. Okay. It hurts my score a little bit short term because I had a whole bunch of credit inquiries right away, but then they notice this guy has, instead of $5,000, he has $15,000 that he could have access to, and he's not using all of it. He must be good with his money. Mm-hmm. He must be trustworthy. His score starts going up. Okay? Now, specifically, number 5. Number 5 is where this matters.
Yeah.
Number 5 is the payoff.
This is the move.
Number 5 is the payoff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so give me some music for number 5, please. I'd love some music for number 5. Just not the story time one because we get in trouble with that one.
Hold on. I got it. Oh, this is so good.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is new. This is a new flow. I haven't heard this one.
I know.
Okay, number 5. Hit me with number 5.
Number 5 is you got to transfer all of the balances and put them all into one large balance. One large balance. One large pot.
Bam.
Transfer them all.
So Amelia, she has 3 cards. She's over her 30% limit on all 3 of those cards. She at least knows that she's trying not to use all of those cards, right? Like she gets the percentage thing. She's got $3,500 worth of debt on there now that she's carrying over month to month. So what does Amelia do? Well, Amelia, you get one of these new cards, one of these 0% APR cards. You take all of those balance and you throw them on one card.
Mm-hmm.
Throw them all on one big thing. Right?
Yep.
Why? Well, now, instead of being charged interest month to month on that $3,500 you owe, For the next 12 months to 20 to 21 months, whatever your card, whatever you get, you're not paying interest anymore.
That doesn't mean you're not paying it.
You're still paying it. You still have to pay the minimum payment, which on $3,500, it legitimately is going to be something like $50, $75 a month, something like that.
Something.
But it's going to free you up. It's going to free up that immediate cash, and you're not going to be being charged for interest for the next 12 months, 21 months, whatever. Okay? So now you took all that debt you had, and you put it, instead of being something that you're paying on every month, you're like, for the next 12 months, I don't have to pay on this. Sweet. That frees up that money to either put it into something that's going to make you more money, or at the very least, for the next 12 months, you're not being charged there, and you can figure out a way to pay that down. Okay? So transfer all those balances onto one big balance. Make sure you pay at least the minimum payment every month. Know when the interest kicks in. If it's 12 months, know it. Pay it off before you get there. Number six is
never miss a payment.
You can't do it.
Ever.
You can't do it.
That's the whole problem in the first place.
Right. You can't do it.
So this move doesn't like absolve you of your credit card debt.
Nope.
I want to be clear about that.
Nope, it's not.
It doesn't like it's not a get out of jail move.
But it is sort of the credit card's attempt to give you some free money in that you're not being charged for interest every month.
Or at least not charging you an additional amount. Yeah.
Right. So I have seen this with multiple businesses that said, okay, got this idea. We got to buy XXX to get off the ground. Well, I don't really have the money for XXX right now. That's why I'm building the business in the first place. Cool. They get a 0% card. They put it on there. In fact, specific example, at one point I was involved with a medical transportation company. We had to buy some vans. Didn't have $50,000 just laying around to spend on vans. So what do we do? We've got a 0% credit card. Charged up on some vans.
Start paying it off.
Start paying it off.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't have to wait a full year to raise the money to buy the vans. I can go ahead and buy the vans and start getting rolling right away.
Or take on an investor. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But take on an investor to actually fund the purchase of the vans.
Exactly. So that's the credit card super move.
Credit card, consolidating your credit card debt, being accountable to one person versus 3 different companies. Real talk, one of the hardest things, for utilities or credit cards or whatever it is just like having so many different places you got to log in to pay your bills, right?
I mean, that is annoying, yeah.
Hey, it's annoying if you're not organized. What's my password? What's my username? Having to go to all these different places. And just imagine if you can consolidate that down to one for your credit cards and just be accountable to one person. Then if you need help or you need support, then you have to go to one person, not 3 people, and go through the same process.
Which, by the way, if you do get multiple credit cards and you're like, I can't have these multiple credit cards or I am going to spend all my money. It's a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, canceling your credit card will cancel out the time you could be gaining of saying, I have this credit that I have available to me, but I'm not using it. So if I were you, what I've done before is I've just cut up that credit card and thrown it away. Kept the account open, but I have no way to spend that money easily. Have no idea what the number is. I threw away that card. Meanwhile, in the bank's eyes, I still have that available credit to me over the long term. It's helping my score.
Before we get into our next segment, I just want to give everybody a bonus nugget kind of passionately.
Are we talking about the rule of 3?
No.
Oh.
Different one.
Well, we kind of skipped over the rule of 3.
We can go back to the rule of 3.
Well, go ahead and give me your bonus passion nugget.
Bonus passion nugget is don't spend money you don't have.
That's offensive.
Just, if you have no plan to ever pay off the money that you are going to spend, then don't ever spend it. If you're buying, real talk, it's okay because it's going to offend him, but I won't use his name. But we had a guy that went and took out a ton of loans to buy a ton of DJ equipment up in where I was at school. All my guys that I went to school with are going to love this story. But was
his name Bill?
His name was not Bill.
Okay.
But he took out like 3 credit cards to buy DJ equipment.
Yeah.
Bought a ton of DJ equipment. Had no plan to actually use the DJ equipment to pay those back.
He was just like, sweet.
Yeah.
Check out these turntables I got in my dorm room.
Yeah. And I feel like at some points, that's kind of like over the top, okay? And not a terrible use of money if you're like, you have booked a DJ gig and you don't have money or you don't have equipment to like fulfill the gig. That makes sense at that point.
You're like, okay, if I buy this immediately, I have this revenue coming in.
Yeah, and so when Dave Ramsey or
I thought you were gonna give away his name. I thought his name was Dave, and you just like accidentally slipped up and said his name.
No. Dave Ramsey or T. Harv Eker, they say credit cards are bad. You will spend more because that's what the credit cards are designed to do. They're designed to get you to spend more money than you have.
They make it more convenient for you to spend money.
More convenient to spend money.
Yep.
In whether or not you have it. Okay, so just financially, if you plan to have the money and you need it to bridge a gap, so specifically Forbes says if you plan to have a more sporadic revenue and you got to bridge that gap because you still have expenses, that's when you're going to want to use the credit card. That's a little passionate. Little
passion nugget there.
Yeah.
Little passion nugget. We'll get into the rule of 3 another episode.
I feel good about that.
We'll get into the rule of 3 another episode.
I'm a little bonus nuggeted out.
Nuggeted?
Yeah, I think that was right.
The passion is gone.
The passion is gone.
Should we hit him with one? Okay, so our previous episode had a segment called Teddy Roosevelt is a Badass, and I can tell you it went over well. I can tell you. It had nothing to do at all with what we were talking about, but it went very well.
Okay.
So I feel like we should give him one more.
Okay, let's give him one more.
Give me some music here. Give me some music here. It can't be the story time one. But they'll never take our freedom. Yeah, I mean that's something that Teddy Roosevelt would have probably said.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let's get into this Teddy. This one's a little bit more of a popular Teddy Roosevelt story, so you might have heard this one. Teddy Roosevelt, he was a president of the United States, 1901 to 1909, 2 terms. Back then, there was no such thing as a 2-term limit. So after he bowed out, after 1909, 1912 rolls around, he decides, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to be the president again. I'm going to do it again. So he decided to run in the 1912 election against William Howard Taft and Woodrow Wilson. Scene, October 14th, 1912. He's going to a rally of supporters. Meanwhile, remember, he was the president for 8 years.
Already. 2
terms. Meaning he's got a large support base already. As he made his way up to the podium, a saloon keeper named John Schrank approached Teddy, drew a pistol, and shot him in the chest. Just straight up walked up to him and shot him in the chest.
Not a whole lot of Secret Service.
Not a whole lot of security back those days. So what did Teddy do? Well, obviously, you got to mend up your wounds. You got to spend time recovering. You got to put out a PR thing to your followers. Let them know you're okay. No, he didn't do that. Teddy, with bullet fragments still lodged in his torso, took the stage and delivered the speech as promised. When he produced the blood-stained paper from his shirt, he had his notes in his jacket, pulled them out. They're blood-stained because he just got shot. He says, "You see, it takes more than one bullet to kill a bull moose," talking about his former political party. The speech lasted for nearly an hour. He didn't even truncate it or give him the summary. He wasn't like, I've been shot and I'm bleeding, so I'm just going to give you the bullet points and then go to the hospital. He didn't do that. He said for a full hour. After he stepped down from the stage, a woozy Teddy was rushed to a nearby hospital and treated for his gunshot wound. Also, he did not win the election, which is a kind of a funny last point. But is there anything that you would stand on stage and still want to give an hour speech about directly after being shot? If Sam, our cameraman, had some sort of disagreement with you, and you're ready to get up and do the Monday morning meeting, rouse the troops and get them together, and he walks up to you just walks up to you and shoots you in the chest. And then instead of having a normal 15-minute meeting, you're like, we're doing this thing for an hour.
In fact, I'm going to go longer now.
In fact. And then at the end of the meeting, they're like, wasn't a good meeting.
What
You
a good
lose.
meeting.
Teddy Roosevelt is a badass. That's a segment.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Let's get into the daily wins. Let's get into the daily wins of the week. We've already had you as Teddy Roosevelt. Let's do this one's gonna be a little bit easier for you. This is gonna be easier. This is gonna be a lot easier for you. This is gonna be a lot easier for you. I'm gonna have you announce this. We need some music, obviously. Go ahead and hit him with the music. Just anytime. Just technology. Okay, yeah, that's good. I need you to announce the daily wins of the week as if you were your friend in Ohio that bought all that DJ gear with no plan to ever pay it back. We're going to call him Bill.
Why is this becoming a thing?
This is my favorite part of the show. This is my favorite part. So I need you to announce it as if you're him. And bonus, I'm not going to have any idea if it's good or bad. So you can really just go for it.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just channeling my inner
Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not really enthusiastic. Is that okay?
Like I said, I have no idea who this person is.
Well, I'm just saying the daily wins, they're like something to celebrate. But
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
here we go. He's going to be like, dude, welcome. Hey, yo, dude, welcome to the daily wins of the week.
I know for sure that was your best impersonation yet. Spot on, Bill. Spot on. Just killed it. Okay. So give me the actual daily wins of the week. Give me what you got.
Actual daily wins of the week. Check this out. We have a client that we worked with, a gentleman that runs Launch Academy. Okay.
Yep.
Gentleman that runs Launch Academy. He was actually able to leave his full-time job. He's been building Launch Academy tutoring service.
Yep.
Here in town. He was able to leave his full-time job as a teacher. Okay. And now do this tutoring business full-time because it's been able to replace his income that he was making as a teacher, and he's able to make that transition just this past week.
So he's one of the clients that we've done work with.
Yeah.
He's here in the building.
That's right.
He has moved on from his previous career, his teaching career,
Yep.
because he now is making enough money to be full-time in his passion/business
Yeah.
that he's been building for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's
Just-
awesome.
Just implementing systems. He's able to go out and achieve financially what he set out to.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't right away.
No, it took years.
It took years.
Yeah.
He's got a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
But that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at home and you've got an idea or you've got a passion, or maybe it's something you're currently doing on the side already, this could be you. This could be something that you pull off. We see it all the time. Here's another example. Launch Academy. How would they find the website? Launch Academy Tulsa, probably.
Yeah. Google Launch Academy Tulsa.
Tutorial lessons, like they're teaching kids how to take the ACTs better.
Yeah.
He's now doing that full time. He's backed out of his previous career. He's doing this full time. That's awesome. That's what this guy wants to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has complete control over his schedule. He can call his own shots. He's got enough money that him and his family are good. He's growing the thing. It took 2 years. It wasn't easy, but he followed the list and he got there.
That's right.
So if you want it bad enough, you can do it too. If you want to know more about what we do here, go to thrivetimeshow.com/workshops. Check out there. It's a 2-day business extravaganza that's going to change the way you run your business. It's going to be huge for you. I promise it'll be really, really big for you and your business. I highly recommend it. I've been working here a long time. Co-founder, as long as you can be working here. So we do studying. We study all the competition. We study all the other business schools out there that are normally like $7,500 a month, $3,500 a month. That's not even talking about like business college, where you're talking like $20,000 a year.
Right.
Unequivocally, we are the best. Unequivocally, value for your money. I guarantee you, this is the best option you have. And I would feel bad if you did not know this.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're serious, if you're actually serious about wanting to do this, check out the website, thrivetimeshow.com/workshops, or go to thrive15.com, fill out your business evaluation score, and you're going to get that book right there. Start here for free. You're going to get that for free.
Ba-bang.
Ba-bang. Ba-bang. Okay. Really cool what we get to do today. We're going to go out to Dr. Z's Auto Auction. We're going to film some stuff out there. A tremendous example of workflows, checklists, processes to move thousands of cars in a few hours. And when I say move, I mean sell.
Sell.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see it. That's coming up later on, probably next week. Marshall, you got anything else? Got anything else for these people?
I just really love your shirt.
I appreciate that.
I can't get over it.
That was the Credit Card Super Move episode. That was Marshall Morris right over there. I am Daniel McKenna. That was the Daily Hustle. Talk to you soon. Thanks.